Hey friends, welcome back to Grand Adventure. I'm your host Mark Guido, and this week we are heading off to visit a Utah-based company that does van conversions and complete vintage Airstream restorations for your camping enjoyment. So come along. Today we're visiting the headquarters of Reparadise to see for ourselves and for you how they build Sprinter camper van conversions and restore vintage Airstream trailers from the ground up into modern travel trailers for their customers' camping enjoyment. So we're here today with Chance Becker of Reparadise in West Valley City, right outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. Chance, tell me what you folks do here at Reparadise.
Hey Mark, yeah, glad you could stop by and check out our shop.
I'm thrilled that we could.
So yeah, here at Reparadise, we kind of specialize in everything RV. As you can see, we got a sportsmobile rig right there off camera. We do custom Sprinter vans, one-off Airstreams, restorations, as well as suspension bolt-ons, fuel tank upgrades, OEM RV upgrades such as Victron full pass installs, solar upgrades, the whole 9 yards.
So folks can come to you to upgrade their existing rigs, or they can come to you for an Airstream complete ground-up restoration all the way to a custom-built Sprinter van right off the shop lot, so to speak.
Correct. Yeah, I'm happy to go highlight some of the projects we got out here and show you what we're doing.
Well, I'm pretty excited. Let's go take a look. So Chance, from what I understand, your bread and butter these days is converting Sprinter vans.
Yeah, I'd say about 90% of the work we're turning out of the shop right now is on the Mercedes Sprinter chassis.
But you guys started out doing mostly Airstreams, right?
Yeah, vintage Airstream restorations. Yeah.
What do you think caused the shift in consumer demand that's driving your van business now?
Tough to say, but I mean, definitely COVID had a big play and all that. Just everybody getting on lockdown and wanting to get out to the outdoors really kind of drove the van market, I think. And vans are easy to drive and accessible, versus hauling a trailer and things like that. So there's definitely that appeal.
There's certainly truth to that. Now, you guys label your vans under the brand Saga?
Correct, yeah. Saga is our Sprinter line of products, yeah.
And how many of those units are you guys churning out a year?
Oh, it varies. It could be, I'd probably say on average 10 full builds a year, but then on a given day, I mean, we're having 3 to 4 vans rotating through the shop. So yeah, we do everything from bolt-ons, suspension upgrades, heater installs, warranty work for other OEM manufacturers. So we constantly have day turnaround stuff just coming and going, as well as just our full builds too. So
you're not just building out these Saga vans, you're also taking in other people's vans and doing custom builds or upgrades?
Yep. We're one of the few shops that still does do custom work. Something we've always done and something we'll continue to do.
Understood. Well, why don't you take the opportunity here to show us what you're doing with the Sagas?
Yeah. So this is a Mercedes Sprinter 170 chassis, and it's going to be a full Saga build, which is our spec build. So it's going to have all of our cabinetry as well as our interior wall kit, and that's all designed to integrate with our Saga wire harness as well as our power system. So it all comes together to create a really nice, clean and complete package.
So you mentioned the Saga wiring harness. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, do you want to check it out?
Yeah, let's go take a look.
Yeah, so you can see right here we have our whips. These ends get attached to our power system, and they have a Amphenol connector. This is the same connector they use on a C-130 to connect their wire harnesses.
No kidding.
Yeah. So you get a really nice, reliable connection into the socket there, and then this is the harness, which spiders out into the into the van and integrates with our wall kit. So this has basically every option we could think of. in a Sprinter van. Everything from your water pumps, your heaters, your exterior lighting, solar, all of it, really. And so this spiders out through the whole van and integrates with our wall kit.
That's fantastic. So that way everything's all right through one harness. It must be really easy to make modular replacements or things of that nature.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. It's really nice to have a QC'd harness. We used to build these in-house on a board for a number of years, and it got to the point where we're doing enough of these. Let's outsource it. So we contacted a company up north, an aerospace company, and now they crank them out for us, and it gets fully continuity tested. We get a whole list printout of every lead, where it goes, and it's QC'd and passed. So yeah, it's really nice to just have that done. We can wire a van in about 30 minutes.
Well, let's take a look at the implementation in the van.
So yeah, in the back of the van here, you can see where we have our trim kits going up, and these are actually also our utility chases. We intentionally leave a void here for our wire harness to travel up and then spider out through our electrical chases down the entire van, and then you can see the wires coming out of the walls in different locations for our lights, thermostats, the whole 9 yards. And like I had mentioned earlier, we can do these vans in about 30 minutes, so really speeds up the process, just having everything kind of integrating together, and then gives you a really nice fit and finish on the cowlings and the wall panels, and really comes together with a really clean package. All right, so moving into the van, you can see we have some of the cabinetry laid out in here right now. This is going to be our electrical side here, plumbing side here, and then in this 170 van, we'll be sleeping north to south. So we'll have a full queen bed, and it'll actually be a Murphy bed with a panel here that folds down across. So all your bedding will stow against the wall there. And then coming into the van, we're going to have a floor-to-ceiling cabinet here, little closet set up, and then directly to the right of that will be a bench. And then behind me over here is our Saga galley setup. So we have our Cruise 130 cabinet. This will fit the Cruise 130 fridge. Right next to it, a drawer bank, and then our sink basin right here.
I'm pretty excited about looking at the finished product when we get to it. We'll be able to see most of these concepts actually already finished, right?
Yeah, we can go check out the Saga van, which is a 144, and it's basically this very similar layout, just a little shorter. All right, Mark, so you can see here we have our 48 volt power system. This is a drop-in power system that we bench build. So we have heart of the system, multi-plus 3000, 48 volt. Yeah. Correct. And then just to the right of that, we have the Servo GX, which is our communication hub. Displays all of our information via the Touch 50 or VRM remotely, and can be viewed anywhere with internet access. Yeah, it's a super valuable tool, especially as an installer too. If my clients ever have any issues or questions, I can just log in and see their system and control it from anywhere. Sure. So yeah, it's a very cool feature. And then coming down below, we have the 120 solar controller, which can, the far right item there.
Oh, I'm used to mine being massive.
Right,
okay,
right.
Yeah.
Well, when we step up our voltage, we can actually use smaller components. So that controller can actually do 1,000 watts at 48 volts. It's a nice little solar controller there, perfect for the Mercedes Sprinter chassis. Mm-hmm. And then to the left, we have two of the Victron Orion 48 to 12 step downs. So that's what powers our 12 volt loads in this system.
So that'll take the 48 volt output from the multiplus or from the solar controller and step it down to 12 volts for a 12 volt battery system?
It is actually taking the 48 volts from our 48 volt server rack batteries and then stepping it down for our 12 volt loads.
Okay, yes. Got it.
Yep. So yeah, as we're all familiar, RVs use 12 volts, pretty standard across the board for all their loads. So we still use regular standard RV appliances and things like that running at 12 volts.
So what are the advantages for using a 48 volt battery system on a 12 volt rig?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the big advantages when we step up our voltage is we step down our current. And so this system's also going to be coupled with a Nations alternator kit with a Wakespeed 500 alternator regulator. And that alternator can push up to 5,000 watts of power. And so the only way we can transfer that much power over distance without like having massive, massive cables is to step up our voltage.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
And what is this we have over here on the left?
So that's just a Blue Sea fuse block. So that'll house all of our 12-volt loads. So the wire harness whip that we were checking out earlier, I'll pre-wire into that fuse block, and then it'll just plug right into the jack on the other end of the harness.
Okay.
So like we mentioned earlier, 48-volt batteries, and these are the batteries that actually slot into this far side of the system right here.
Okay.
So these are 48-volt server rack batteries, and I've been working with the manufacturer to tweak the firmware in these batteries to make them compliant with our alternator regulator, as well as this model right here is the new heated version, so actually has internal heating to help charge below.
And they're
temps.
lithium iron phosphate?
Correct, yes.
Those are the most bizarre looking batteries I've ever seen. I mean, it looks like a rack system from a server
Yep.
farm somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It is a standard server rack size, which is a nice form factor to work with because this battery is only 3.5 inches thick, and so we can actually stand it up if we want, put it against the wall, or we can lay them down. Yeah, it's a nice form factor to work with.
After learning about everything that goes into building a Saga van, it's time to finally see the end product, a completed Saga van. So Chance, this is kind of the finished product, right?
Correct, yes. This is our shop demo vehicle. So you can see this whole Saga kit start to finish and kind of what it comes together and gives you the final product.
So nobody else gets these really cool, funky graphics, right?
It is for sale, so I mean, if you want them, we'll leave them.
Well, let's have you introduce us and show us the finished product.
Yeah, so starting right here at the door, we have a fold-down table. This is all walnut. This is our custom bracket. You can actually buy this on our site and install your own table on your own van if you'd like. And then we step on into the inside. We went with the isotherm 85 drawer fridge right here, so you can access from inside or outside.
Nice.
Yep. And then up here on the counter, we've got an inlaid induction cooktop with a nice deep sink here, so you can wash dishes and do all that. Overhead cabinets, all magnetic clasp, so they don't rattle. Plenty of storage, and this is all made out of our ultralight ply. We got nice storage there, and then we got a bench here with plenty of storage underneath. And then we got the walnut ceiling to match the countertops, as well as the flip down counter. And then moving back, here's that Murphy bed design in the 144. So on the 144 we use the van speed capsules, and we sleep east-west. So it's about a full-size bed on the 144. And then on the 170, like we mentioned earlier, we sleep north-south and turns it into a queen. Coming over here, we have more overheads for plenty more storage. And then this side, again, more storage in here. And then on the 144, we move the batteries up here because we have a little less space. So we have 4 of our server rack batteries mounted here, which is equivalent to 800 amp hours at 12 volt. And then down below, you can see the power system here. So this is the bench built system, just with the batteries moved up top, like we just saw. And then over on this side, we house our plumbing. We have over the wheel well tank under here. As well.
How large is the tank?
This one, 20 gallons. Yep. And then up top here, we have a hydronic heating system mounted in there. And then coming out the back, got a nice van speed bumper. You can see the bedding stowed behind that Murphy bed there. We also put a little cutout there so you could highlight the harness. You can see where the whips actually connect on the wall to the harness.
Now, what about, well, I see the shower here. What about toilet facilities?
So on this one, we just have a small portable cassette tucked in under there. But that whole lower section of that cabinet is kind of a la carte, so to speak. And so we can put composting toilets. We can shorten the bench and put a king's throne if you want more of a traditional RV toilet. So we have a lot of different options to fill that space.
Now, if a customer were to have a build done or purchase from you a unit like this, roughly what would that go for?
It can vary pretty drastically depending upon options, but I'd say our builds kind of start out in the 100K range and kind of go up from there.
Understood.
Yeah.
And if somebody were to go whole hog, where would that top out at?
Well, you could buy this van right now for $225, I think is listed for.
Got it.
Yeah.
They're building Saga Vans now, but Reparadise got their start restoring vintage Airstream trailers, and that still represents a good chunk of their business.
So, Chance, this is an Airstream you guys are working on right now. Tell us a little bit about this unit, what you guys are doing.
Yeah, Mark. So this Airstream came to us originally about 7 years ago, and it was a full restoration. It's about a 1970s-ish Airstream, and we did a full frame-off restoration. So pulled the body, stripped the subfloor, redid the frame, replaced all the rotted steel, new axles, new tanks. Body goes back on, rewire it, and
Holy cow, what a huge project.
yeah. So yeah, they're pretty involved when we get into a project at this scope. It's on average about 2,000 man hours.
Wow. And what brought it back in now?
A couple upgrades. They wanted to do a forced air furnace. Before he was just relying on his heat pumps, and he was finding that was just a little inadequate.
They don't work very well under about 45, do they?
Yeah, no. So we added a forced air furnace, and then we are also adding high current charging from the tow vehicle while they're driving. So they're going to be using 2 Victron Orions to push 700-ish watts back from the tow vehicle while they're driving.
And just for the viewers who may not be familiar, the Victron Orions, those are DC to DC converters, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a number of different Orion products in the Victron line, but what we'll be using in this install is the 12 to 24 volt at 15 amps. We'll be using 2 of those.
Now, you guys are a Victron dealer as well.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so folks can go onto your website and shop Victron products?
Yep, we have some products on our store, and we're constantly adding more. It's a work in progress, but yeah, feel free to give us a call, reach out, and we can get you guys hooked up.
Fantastic. So, Chance, what do you want to show us here?
So right here, we're just going to highlight quick the CNC table. We picked this up maybe 3 years ago or so, and it's really changed the workflow here in the shop, because now we do small production runs as well as prototyping here with the CNC. Allows us to get all of our proofs done and get everything dialed the way we want. For example, our Saga cabinetry. And then once we get a cabinet dialed, we actually outsource it, and those cabinets get flat packed and then assembled IKEA style, so we can ship them and be assembled anywhere.
So you folks use this to create kind of prototypes that you get out to demonstrate and test and make sure that it meets all of your standards?
Correct, yeah. We use this for small production runs and prototyping. Yep.
Understood.
Yep.
So when that stuff, when it comes from the, if you guys ship that out flat packed, do you get the little, cartoon graphics on how to assemble like IKEA too?
Yeah, it comes with a QR code, and you actually scan that QR code, and it takes you to a video that shows us installing it and how to put it all together.
Cool. So people can actually buy cabinetry if they're custom outfitting their own van or what have you, and get that from you.
Correct, yep.
All right, hi, I'm Dan from Reparadise. I've been with the business since the beginning. We're in the back here in the Boneyard, and this will kind of help see the history of where we got to building a bunch of fancy Sprinter vans and then also the Airstreams. So right here underneath our shed is a 70s Airstream. This one's been polished and the shell has been restored. Also, the frame is a fully boxed frame, so that's no longer a stock Airstream frame. Ton of work goes into getting these units to this point. That includes replacing broken panels. This is all Airstream style construction, so highly skilled. And that one, you probably looked at the one that was inside, Chance showed you that. This one will end up like that one eventually. Next to it is a 1940s, I want to say 47 or 48. It's a Westwood. This is called a bread loaf trailer because it's shaped like a loaf of bread. This is super cool. If you check out the screws on it, these are all flathead screws. So before Phillips head, the old guys would use their hand drivers and run in these sweet old flathead screws. This is heavy duty aluminum exterior with a wood framed interior. So very sought over style vintage camper. And sitting further back there, actually old canned ham walls that we've rebuilt and will repurpose. Not rebuilt, I'll back up. They're completely new. They're 4 trailers that we build from scratch. We build the frames for them. Those are just stored back there and ready to be built. Those are for a canned ham style trailer. Canned ham style trailers use quite a bit thinner aluminum than this truly vintage, older style camper. So going along out here in our old Boneyard, this is a GMC that's getting the interior redone. There's an old Alaskan camper sitting back there, which is similar to a canned ham style wood on tin kind of construction. And then that's another Airstream project that kind of is resting. And it gets, whenever the client's got some more money to put into it, it'll get a little work done to it. And then a couple more Airstreams and a Silver Streak here. These are in their full-on basket case situation, and they're waiting to be scooped up and restored. So this is kind of the backbone of Reparadise and where we got started, and Chance shows you where we are now. So thanks for watching.
I get the impression that your heart is on the Airstream side rather than the van side.
I don't know. I might get back into tents. I think I need a good grounding.
Don't we all?
So we hope that you've enjoyed visiting Reparadise with us. Let us know what you think in the comments section down below this video. And while you're down there, it's extremely important to us that if you like this episode, please be sure to give us a big thumbs up. We'd be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. But if you're not yet a grand adventurer yourself, now is the perfect time for you to go smash that little subscribe button right down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. And ring that notification bell to be sure that you never miss a grand adventure, which we premiere every Wednesday evening. So until next Wednesday, please remember life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.